Hey out there, everybody. We're here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and today we are on lesson 154. I am among the ministers of God. Before I get into that one, I would like to tell you about yesterday. So yesterday's lesson was in my defenselessness, my safety lies. So of course that's a beautiful lesson, and so many deep teachings in that, and in our year of forgiveness compadre to that. And so as I said, I'm in the process of moving, and it's getting stressful, intense. I'm moving in with my boyfriend, and we literally had like a total of 2 hours of like arguing on the phone yesterday, like pretty intensively. And the lesson was there swimming around in my consciousness, but I wasn't able to really bring myself to the utmost maturity and the most beautiful place. But we had an awesome talk today, and I mentioned that, and I feel like the more that I bring it into the circle of our relationship and remind myself that I have these practices and these tools, that it's going to just sink deeper and deeper into the space that we're creating between us. We're still pretty new, and I mean, I expect some kind of conflict and tension, but it's like the lessons are right on time. I mean, the fact that everything was fine, and then yesterday we had this thing happen, and the lesson was about being defenseless rather than defending myself, which is what I was doing. Well, I was defending my ego was defending, you know how it works. So anyway, it was a great way to look at myself and feel the way that these teachings are just kind of showing themselves, kind of like you drive by pretty flowers and you can look at them or not. So I hope you look at them and you look at the problems in your life that you're having and really dig in. So today, the Redemption Day, I'm among the ministers of God is what we're gonna hear about from Jesus. So here we go. Let us today be neither arrogant nor falsely humble. We have gone beyond such foolishness. We cannot judge ourselves, nor need we do so. These are but attempts to hold decision off and to delay commitment to our function. It is not our part to judge our worth, nor can we know what role is best for us. What we can do within a larger plan, we cannot see in its entirety. Our part is cast in heaven, not in hell. And what we think is weakness can be strength. What we believe to be our strength is often arrogance. Whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice for God, whose function is to speak for you as well. Seeing your strengths exactly as they are, and equally aware of where they can be best applied, for what, to whom and when, he chooses and accepts you, your part for you. He does not work without your own consent, but he is not deceived in what you are and listens only to his voice in you. So I think this applies to anyone right now who's changing their lives and going through a big transformation where you want to be in your life purpose. And this is telling you, whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice for God, whose function is to speak for you as well. Seeing your strengths exactly as they are and equally aware of where they can be best applied, for what, to whom and when, he chooses and accepts your part for you. So that means you don't have to worry about whether your multi-dimensional skills are going to suddenly appear. You don't have to train for anything unless you want to and you feel really inspired to do so. You don't have to worry because your role, your part, is going to reveal itself to you. So I think that was a really great reassurance in that paragraph. It is through his ability to hear one voice, which is his own, that you become aware at last there is one voice in you. And that voice appoints your function and relays it to you, giving you the strength to understand it, do what it entails, and to succeed in everything you do that is related to it. So be confident, lean forward, and just go after it. You're going to do great. God has joined his Son in this, and thus his Son becomes his messenger of unity with him. It is in this joining through the voice for God of Father and Son that sets apart salvation from the world. And we're all trying to get out of the world, aren't we? It is this voice which speaks of laws the world does not obey, which promises salvation from all sin, with guilt abolished in the mind that God created sinless. Now this time becomes aware again of who created it and of his lasting union with itself. So it is itself the one reality in which its will and that of God are joined. A messenger is not the one who writes the message he delivers, nor does he question the right of him who does, nor ask why he has chosen those who will receive the message that he brings. It is enough that he accept it, give it to the ones for whom it is intended, and fulfill his role in its delivery. Bam. If he determines what the messages should be, or what their purpose is, or where they should be carried, he is failing to perform his proper part as bringer of the world. So that means trust. Trust your guidance. Don't think about it too much. There is one major difference in the role of heaven's messengers, which sets them off from those the world appoints. The messages that they deliver are intended first for them. Very, very good. And it is only as they can accept them for themselves that they become able to bring them further and to give them everywhere that they were meant to be. So we have to listen to our own guidance, especially if we're going to be giving guidance to others. Like earthly messengers, they did not write the messages they bear, but they become their first receivers in the truest sense, receiving to prepare themselves to give. An earthly messenger fulfills his role by giving all his messages away. The messengers of God perform their part by their acceptance of his messages as for themselves and show they understand the messages by giving them away. They choose no roles that are not given them by his authority, and so they gain by every message that they give away. Would you receive the messages of God? For thus do you become his messenger. You are appointed now, and yet you wait to give the messages you have received. And so you do not know that they are yours, and you do not recognize them. No one can receive and understand he has received until he gives. For in the giving is his own acceptance of what he received. You, who are now the messenger of God, receive his messages, for this is part of your appointed role. God has not failed to offer what you need, nor has it been left unaccepted. Yet another part of your appointed task is yet to be accomplished. He who has received for you the messages of God would have them be received by you as well. For thus do you identify with him and claim your own. This is just another way of saying we are one. We are one. And giving and receiving are the same, right? It is this joining that we undertake to recognize today. We will not seek to keep our minds apart from him who speaks for us, for it is but our voice we hear as we attend him. He alone can speak to us and for us, joining in one voice the getting and the giving of God's word, the giving and receiving of his will. We practice giving him what he would have, that we may recognize his gifts to us. He needs our voice, that we may speak through us. He needs our hands to hold his messages and carry them to those to whom he appoints. He needs our feet to bring us where he wills, and that those who wait in misery may be at last delivered. And he needs our will united with his own, that we may be the true receivers of the gifts he gives. Let us learn but this lesson for today. We will not recognize what we receive until we give it. You have heard this said 100 ways, 100 times, and yet belief is lacking still. But this is sure. Until belief is given it, you will receive 1,000 miracles and then receive 1,000 more, but will not know that God himself has left no gift beyond what you already have, nor has he denied the tiniest of blessings to his son. What can this mean to you until you have identified with him and with his own? Our lesson for today is stated thus: I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. The world recedes, as we light up our minds and realize these holy words are true. They are the message sent to us today from our Creator. Now we demonstrate how they have changed our minds about ourselves and what our function is. For as we prove that we accept no will we do not share, our many gifts from our Creator will spring to our sight and leap into our hands, and we will recognize that we received. Well, that's just full of awesome right there. I think we should all read that a couple times. Not a lot of instructions on how to do the meditation either, so I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. Say that and feel good. All right, let's see what A Year of Forgiveness has to say. We'll do a little close-up of this picture here. Love that. It's a messenger satchel that she has there. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. This, of course, puts fear into the heart of the ego. It does not really want to be a minister of God. It does not want to proselytize, and that is not really what this lesson is about. This lesson is about you employing in your thought, word, and deed the principles and energies of these lessons so that you act in accord with these lessons. In your demonstration of your understanding of what love, giving, extension, and projection are, you learn as you study this material that you are a minister of God. People witness you. They may come up to you and say, "What is it that you're doing?" You are not the same person you were before. That presents a perfect opportunity to share. That duck just threw me off. A perfect opportunity to share with someone what you are doing. You do not need to stand on a soapbox. You will be guided. If you are not guided to do something as outlandish as this being is doing, talking about Tina channeling, do not fret. Do not worry about it, but listen to your inner guidance. Listen to that still small voice within that says, take that class, go on that trip, phone that friend. That is how this being, Tina, learned. She was trained to listen to that guidance. Over many years, she became very good at listening. That was when we decided she was capable, willing, and able to do this work. It has been a great growth experience for her. God bless you, Tina, as you can imagine. Her many years of doing A Course in Miracles, practice of forgiveness, asking for her perception to be healed instead of asking for everyone else to be changed, bingo, set her up for doing this work. This is her specific assignment, and you all have a specific assignment. It may be teaching children. It may be becoming a healer of some kind. It may be writing a book, painting a picture, or growing a garden. Listen to your guidance. If you are happy doing something, then that is your purpose. You may say, well, how is it so great that I'm gardening and I love gardening? So that's my purpose? Well, everyone needs beautiful flowers and fresh and luscious food, so yes. The gardens out there are going to become in greater and greater demand as your food systems become more and more poisoned. You can see it happening already. Those beings who have gardened for years, wondering what their purpose is to grow uncontaminated, beautiful, fresh, and healthy food. That is where we ask you to go when you buy food. Buy it as cleanly as possible within your means at this time. You always have the ability to change one item of food. So that means the people who complain about organic is too expensive. Okay, buy more fruits and vegetables, buy some organic, not all of them, if that's a place that you're coming from. Some of you will say, Jesus shouldn't talk about food. It's not pure dualism. But in your society, with the degree of pollution you deal with, it is now an important subject that must be addressed. The toxins in your society cause untenable problems in your bodies, and we ask you to choose as healthy a diet as possible. When you are on this ascension journey, frequency matches are the way it goes. You have an increasing frequency on this planet because of the increasing frequency in your solar system and the galaxy. We want you to understand that the higher your frequency matches to those around you, the less stress you experience. When you go outside and walk in the sunlight or the dappled sunshine or the moonlight or the starlight, and you are out in the air and the fresh breezes of your natural environment, you are being upgraded. Know that this is true. When you start to feel a bit woozy from being on your computer too long, or a bit pummeled by being in front of your television too long, turn it off. Then put your shoes on or your sandals and go outside. Get an upgrade. Know that that is indeed what's happening. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. See that guy out there zooming out there on the river. Wow, this feels like a really empowering and happy message, and it's great in my life because, like I said, what happened with me yesterday was unpleasant, but an opportunity to learn, an experience for me to have, and it's just part of my growth. It's part of this life that I'm creating for myself, and not an accident or a coincidence. And the way that the lessons lined up so perfectly with the things happening in my life, you know, personal stuff that maybe I wouldn't talk about. It's like, man, I really want to share with all of you how aligned I am with these teachings and how imperfect I am at the same time. I really want to be like the absolute best Course in Miracles student, but when I'm really confronted with that ego presence, you know, it's hard, and I'm learning. So I'm really grateful for the course. I'm grateful for all of you, and I hope that you, as ministers of God today, feel whatever your purpose is and lean in more to it. Get more aligned with it. Get your frequency more aligned with where that beautiful thing is that you're here to give to the world. Lots of love to you, and I'll see you tomorrow.